All right, we are going to work on finding the GCF, or the greatest common factor of the following numbers. We'll do one line at a time. We'll start with our mild, then medium, and then spicy. So the first thing that we need to do is create factor trees for both of our numbers. So 3 is my first number, and then 15 is my second number. 3 is actually a prime factor already because it can only be multiplied by itself and 1. I like to circle my prime factors so I know when I have found them. Then we'll move on to 15. And I ask myself, what times what equals 15? 3 times 5 equals 15. Then I need to ask myself, are either of these prime numbers? They are both prime numbers because 3 cannot be divided evenly into whole numbers, and 5 is also a prime number because it cannot be divided by any more whole numbers. So now, after I have found my prime factorization, I'm going to list out my multiplication sentence, which really is just 3 equals 3, and then 15, I would take both of my prime factors, 3 times 5. I like to list them with the smallest numbers first and then move to the fifth. The next step is finding common multiples, or sorry, common factors, which here they both share a 3. Then to find my GCF, I would take this and multiply all of the common factors, but in this case we only have one common factor. So the GCF of 3 and 15 is 3. Moving on to 12 and 26. My first step is I want to create factor trees of my two numbers. What times what equals 12? 3 times 4 equals 12. Then I ask myself, are any of these prime numbers? 3 is a prime number. 4 is not a prime number. It can be broken down even more. What times what equals 4? 2 times 2 equals 4. 2 is a prime number, so I'm going to circle them. Then I'm going to come down here and say 12 equals 3 times 2 times 2, but I like to start with my small number, so I'm going to do 2 times 2 times 3. Then I'm going to go to my 26 and factor this. If it's an even number, I like to start with 2 because that's an easy number to find. So 2 times 13 equals 26. 2 is my prime factor here. 13 is also a prime number, so I don't have to go any smaller than that. So I take 26 equals 2 times 13. Then I look for common factors. They both have a 2, so I'm going to circle that. They do not have any other common factors, so my GCF is actually just 2. And then finally over here, we want to find the GCF, or the greatest common factor, of 77 and 33. So I'm going to take 77 and 33, and I'm going to factor them. So what times what equals 77? 7 times 11. Then I ask myself, are either of these prime numbers? And they are actually both prime numbers because they cannot be divided into another whole number. Then I'm going to look at 33. What times what equals 33? 3 times 11 equals 33. Then I ask myself, are either of these prime numbers? And they actually both are prime numbers, so I'm going to circle them. Then I will come down here and I will write my multiplication sentence. 7 times 11, then 33 is 3 times 11. Now I'm going to ask myself, do they share any common factors? Those are not same, but they do both share an 11. So the greatest common factor of 77 and 33 is 11.